Alright, everyone, we're back again here for me to talk about my plans for Rexel Jet characters. We're going to be talking about just one character again today. And let's talk about one of the pre-Sodor grouping railways. The one we're specifically going to be talking about is the Wellsworth and Sudbury Railway. Now, before we get to the character we're talking about, we all know about the Wellsworth and Sudbury Railway as a thing, right? And it turns out that there were 4 engines that run the line. They were 2 Manning Wardles, specifically the Q class, but they didn't exist when it opened, but I digress. A Sharp Stewart, and an 060 tank engine. We're going to be talking about the 060 tank engine specifically. Who am I referring to? Well, it's my personal favorite of Rexel Jet's Wellsworth and Sudbury fleet. We're going to be talking about WNS number 4, Betty. Now, before I get into who Betty is, yeah, I know. I'm aware that Christopher Audrey revealed the names of the Wellsworth and Sudbury engines, along with the Tidmouth, Knapford, and Ellsbridge engines. And just like Rexel Jet, I am too disappointed that all 8 names are masculine. Yeah, meaning that all the members of those railways are dudes, but then I realized it's my AU, I can do whatever I want. Anyways, let me get into who Betty is. And one more thing before I start, Rexel Jet stated that maybe she was built with the name Willie before transitioning, or vice versa. I like to think that she was built with the name Willie and then changed her identity afterwards. So it's because she probably didn't feel comfortable with that name. So let's get into it. So here's Betty. Betty is a happy little engine who's always glad to be alive and steaming. This behavior of hers didn't win the hearts of Billy and Wesley, who were overall much more cynical engines. However, she became much more popular with the two of them when they realized that they could palm off the jobs they didn't want to Betty. Betty didn't really mind it at first. She thought they were just being friendly. The workmen did tell her to be cautious with their behavior. But Betty just thought they were just trying to help. And the manager did catch on what they were doing when he realized that Betty's trains were getting longer and longer every day. And so he spoke severely to Billy and Wesley, who were forced to do their fair share of the work as well. Betty still insisted that she could do the work just fine. And the two of them grumbled dreadfully, but soon stopped when Charlie called them weaklings. Yeah, as you can see from that, Betty is a happy little engine. She is mostly happy. I don't know if there's ever times when she gets sad, annoyed, or angry, but that's something to think on. Oh yeah, and if you want to know what her basis is, she's an 060 tank engine, obviously. Specifically one with side tanks and no rear coal bunker. Similar to number 2309 Haydock. And if you've seen that one illustration from Dirty Objects, you know that there's an engine coupled to the breakdown train that's probably just a badly drawn Thomas. But Rexel Jet likes to think that it's a separate engine. And since the illustration takes place at Wellsworth, he likes the idea of it being an ex-WNSR engine. Anyways, that's Betty's character out of the way, and let me get on to my headcanon for her. So, as we all know, all members of the Wellsworth and Sudbury Railway were scrapped. But in my headcanon, Betty doesn't get scrapped. She becomes a permanent member of the Northwestern Railway. Oh, by the way, in my AU, she worked alongside the very trucks take on WNS's 1 to 3, aka Walter, Winnie, and Horace. So, fun fact, okay? Anyways, as I was saying, she doesn't get scrapped, and she becomes a permanent member of the Northwestern. The reason for this happening is because, well, we can say, like, maybe like Edward or Balco found her in a shed just rusting away, and they told Sir Topham Hatt about it, and he quickly had her rebuilt and repainted at once. Betty was thankful for this. And she becomes a member of Edward's branch line, meaning that she'd have to put up with Bill and Ben every once in a while, but she doesn't really mind. Now, even though she, like I just said, she's a happy little engine, in my headcanon, I would have, like, a little bit of times when she gets sad, annoyed, or angry. Like when someone tells her that she's doing a job wrong, or she's, like, having a bad day, something like that. Like I said, Betty is my favorite of Rexeljet's Wellsworth and Sudbury fleet. I know some people might prefer Wesley, maybe even his takes on Billy and Charlie, but I don't care. I like the happy little goober she is. Betty's my goat, okay? And speaking of which, me and my brother are currently working on a wooden railway custom of her. She's being made using a new style wooden railway Oliver, by the way. Don't know how I'm gonna get the coal bunkers off, but maybe we can try something. Okay. Alright. Anyways, I guess you can say that when, like, all the engines went to London, and she like helped out with some of the other engines when they were filling in it, and when some of them came into Wellsworth, I guess you can say. She makes a good amount of friends with everyone, and if you're nice to her, then she will be nice to you. What a happy little engine. I kind of want to make stories about her, about Betty in the future. So, yeah, that's a project I'll be looking forward to sometime. And that was my headcanon for Betty. Let me know what you think down below, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.